to give him all credit, when he was walking off the field for the last time, he went down on his knees and crawled the last few steps because the spectators, the West Indians in the stands, were giving him hell.
From 1976, the West Indies seemed unstoppable, beating all the teams in the empire of cricket and winning a second successive World Cup in 1979.
And it's all over.
Despite their successes, the team were not highly paid, and after they had won the World Cup, Lloyd was approached by the West Indies Cricket Board with a derisory offer to his players.
Sir Clyde Walcott came to him and said that he had been authorized by the board to pay him £50 as some form of remuneration for their victory. And he was just so appalled at it. He said it made him almost want to cry.
This financial insecurity threatened to undermine the unity of Lloyd's team. And in 1983, 18 West Indian players were offered a lucrative one-off deal to break a Commonwealth agreement and play in apartheid South Africa.
Mattis, Clark, Croft and Rowe are among the players reportedly earning up to £70,000 each.
The big money on offer meant many, like fast bowler Colin Croft, would risk a lifetime ban from Test cricket.
In a sense, it was a bad decision on my part, but also I never considered myself what I would call a professional cricketer. I played cricket professionally, which is a different thing in my head. Because in those days, there was no money in sport. You got to play, you enjoy yourself, and then somebody throws you by the wayside, and that's the end of that. You got to beg somebody for a job. Well, I decided a long time ago I'm not begging anybody for a job.
But the majority of Lloyd's team refused to tour South Africa and stayed loyal to their captain's commitment to black solidarity.
We were never going to go there, although we were offered a lot of money, obviously, but money was not all there. It was pride and belief in getting things right in the world. And sportsmen of such, I think we play a very important part in trying to get things together. And so there's no way I would go there for love or money.
This setback only served to make Lloyd more determined. Through the 1980s, the West Indies improved every aspect of their cricket. Introducing a specialist fitness coach, they now trained like professional sportsmen, and the team swept all before them with ruthless efficiency.
And he's gone this time, caught it slim.
This team had a winning mentality, but executed it with style and swagger.
I see 600 on the board here at Edgbaston.
It was an era that was dominated by, I would say, just power play. You know, quick bowlers, aggressive batsmen, brilliant fielding.
The most dominant teams in the history of the game have always built their success around fast bowlers. Lloyd's innovation was the ability to field not 2 or 3, but 4 world-class pacemen, who each presented a different challenge to the opposition batsman.
Getting out of bed on a morning when you know you're going to face Holding, Roberts, Garner, Croft, maybe substitute Marshall for Croft, it's an effort to get out of bed.
Cricket, lovely cricket.
Oh, dear me.
And you've got to bat against Michael Holding. You know that Mikey was probably day in, day out the quickest of their quartet. Great big long run-up, so you had lots of time to look at him, and he'd sort of come closer and closer very quickly towards you. But he had the most fluid action, pure silk. Everything worked, everything was timed perfectly, and if it came at you at 95 miles an hour, well, it was on you mighty quickly.
Good catch. Draw ball too. Gower's gone.
Joel Garner with the extra height, and Joel could still bowl 90 miles an hour. It wasn't as though he was 6'8" and the rest of it in his hand therefore was, 10 foot, 10 foot up there. So he generated bounce at whatever pace, whether it was mid-80s or 90s.
And he's bowled him. So Gower goes for naught.
And then when Malcolm Marshall came through, and Malcolm became maybe the greatest of them. He could swing the ball, he could cut the ball, he could bowl it quick, he could change his pace, he could bowl at the speed of light, he could attack you. You thought, well, where do you hide?
Wabal must be gone. This is a very fast over from Marshall.
My thoughts coming up against any batsman was not really to try and impose myself on them mentally. It was all a matter of technicality, what this guy didn't like.
And a little flick at that and he's gone, caught behind.
If I didn't think he liked a short ball, I'd give him a short ball. If I didn't think he liked balls pitching outside the off-stump coming back into him, whatever I think he did not like, that's what I would be trying to do.
And he's caught, it's all over, Allison is gone.
In 1984, England, led by David Gower, were blown away by this pace attack, losing the series 5-0. Joyful West Indian fans now insisted that this wasn't just a series whitewash, their old colonial masters had been blackwashed.
And West Indies very convincingly win the series by a margin of 5 test matches to nothing.
The West Indies power cricket didn't endear them to sections of the English press, who were finding their domination hard to accept. A barrage of criticism was launched.
I don't think our players are out to injure people. It's not out about that. They were quick, and if you have fast bowlers, you're going to get hit. It's not out about it. It happens here now.
The carnival culture, imported into English grounds by West Indian fans, irritated some in the cricket establishment. The authorities, citing safety and public order, began to ban all musical instruments.
That drum will spoil the enjoyment of the day for many, many people who are sitting here and having a...
And ticket allocations to West Indian fans were also subject to restrictions.
The ticket system became where you couldn't have 2 West Indian fans sitting together, so they were all very sporadic, and being sporadic, you couldn't hear them in numbers. Well, I felt it was a bit harsh. Jealousy.
When Lloyd retired, Vivian Richards took over the captaincy. And 2 years later, in the Caribbean, the West Indies silenced the critics, again beating England 5-0. Their dominance was rubbed in the final test in Antigua, where Richards wrapped up victory with the fastest ever Test 100 off only 56 balls, a record which remains unbeaten.
People often ask me about the highlights of my cricketing career, and I mention those two series where we won 5-0, and the reason why I mention that is because not only because we beat England 5-0 twice, but because of the effort that was put in, the highly professional nature of the team. And I felt at the time the team was invincible.
This is not a one-man job. It's like guys who were in the trenches, World War I or II, whatever period of war, they see themselves as a band of brothers, and the accomplishment factor felt great after that. Yeah.
Led by Richards, the Master Blaster, the Windies continued as undisputed world champions. And in 1991, when Richards walked out for an emotional and final farewell at the Oval, he departed as the West Indies' leading run scorer. At the same time, batsmen Gordon Greenidge and Desmond Haynes, wicketkeeper Jeff Dujon, and fast bowler Malcolm Marshall also retired. These players had carried the hopes of West Indians through an era of nationalism, which had seen all of the Caribbean islands become fully independent. By the time these players had retired, the Caribbean was adjusting to a dramatic shift. The age of nationalism had given way to the realities of a new globalized era. Having achieved political independence, these small countries struggled to compete with the world's larger economies.